This year, the gold level of the Leadership Institute chose to host a military ball to raise funds and awareness for military veterans and the Veterans Hospital of East Orange, New Jersey. Through our research, we found that Kean University had a very strong military connection. Bill Schroed Jr., the director of the Liberty Hall Museum operations, and Leanne Manna, a history student, can now give us the scoop.
Well, the connection between Kean University and Liberty Hall Museum and the military history from Liberty Hall Museum would go all the way back to the American Revolutionary War, where this area of New Jersey was the battlegrounds. And the gentleman who built Liberty Hall and the property that becomes Kean University later in life was his home, and William Livingston was a brigadier general during the Revolutionary War. Robert W. Kean grew up in Liberty Hall with his parents, Hamilton Fish Kean and Catherine Winthrop, and his brother John. They both served in World War I. When the university moved from Newark to here, Mary Alice Barney Kean was living in Liberty Hall. She'd been a widow. Her husband, Captain John, the gentleman behind me, had passed away in 1949, so she was living here with her children.
During World War II, the librarian at Kean University, which was then Newark State Teachers College, wrote letters to all the students and all the alumni that had left the college to go fight in the war. And she compiled all of their responses back and put them in this big scrapbook. Ralph Sozio came into Newark State in 1943. He was going for teaching, like pretty much everyone, but he had a special interest in music and theater. And he was one of those students that he was just everywhere on campus. He was the manager of the basketball team. And in spring of 1943, right before he leaves to go fight in the war, he writes this musical called College Days. And all the male students put it on, they perform it, and all the proceeds went towards the Red Cross. In May of 1943, he left Newark State and went to fight in the war. And he worked specifically for the USO, so he would entertain the troops. In one of his letters to Nancy Thompson, he writes that his job is to provide the troops with entertainment during their leisure time. And then he asks, and what do we do when everybody else is working? We rehearse. But then in 1945, he contracts rheumatic fever. And he eventually does die from that. Now we have Sozio Hall, one of the residence halls named after him. And it's the only building on campus named after a student.
Once we understood the rich military history Kean had, we began to wonder about the present. We found two students, Nadia Bangura and Elia Bustamante, whose lives were changed by the military.
My boyfriend Justin is going into the military. He's leaving April 5th. He has basic training for 2 months, and then he goes to his AIT schooling for another 2 months. So roughly about 4 months, maybe like August, September, he'll be back. When he gets back, he's basically going to be waiting on where he's going to be stationed first, and from there he'll start his job on base. He wanted to go to the military to benefit his future and his family, and also to use it to go to school later. First, I was a little nervous because I really haven't been in an experience like this, but after he told me everything and step by step, I feel a little more comfortable about it. His family is extremely supportive. His mom is like his best friend, so they're all for it.
Well, I spent 2 years in Japan, where I lived there from June 2010 until June 2012, and then I was stationed back to America in North Carolina from June 2012 until the time I got out, which was April 2014. But of course, my friends and family were extremely happy that I wasn't really harmed. They say I came back a little more serious. Some say that I came back with the same sense of humor, but just a little more mature, and that's really the biggest part, and I think for a lot of veterans, that they come back more mature, more disciplined, and hopefully better human beings than before we went to the military. My goal has always been, even when I went in, my goal was to go back to school because I knew that the VA and that the government offered this GI Bill, that they would pay for our school and pay us while we study and while we try to get our degree. Currently, I go to the East Orange VA hospital, and I'm currently being set up for an audiology test, which is the beeps and sounds and noises that they make in your ear to test how bad the damage is. And then I also go to Westfield to a chiropractor that the VA is paying for or has set up for me.
After seeing challenges that the individuals in the service have faced and how their loved ones felt, students at Kean University wanted to show how much they appreciate their hard work and sacrifices.
I want to take the initiative to find veterans that need help.
Roughly 22 million veterans are living among us.
Thank you for stepping forward when others stand back, placing yourself between us and danger.
Thank you for delaying future plans and choosing to serve.
Thank you for the sacrifices you and your families are making.
Thank you to your spouses who find themselves living nomadic lives, often far away from the support of loved ones.
Thank you to your children who accept your absence as a way of life and understand that they share you with the nation and sometimes the world.
Thank you for your service.
I will support veterans.
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 I will support veterans.